Children, now when we are aware different ways to solve quadratic equation, as we discussed in the previous slide also, the first one being method of factorization, second is by completing square method, and the third one is formula method. So let's start with the first one, method of factorization. Now this method is also termed as splitting the middle term. At times you will find out the same question either by method of factorization or by splitting the middle term. Let's see how we solve sums based on method of factorization. That means we have how to solve a quadratic equation by method of factorization. So we have been given the first sum as m square minus 11m plus 24 equals to 0. M square minus 11m plus 24 equals to 0. As we just now stated, it is also termed as splitting the middle term, children. So it is, we need to split the middle term, whereby which the first term and the last term remains the same. The first term and the last term remains the same. We just need to split the middle term. Now one condition is what we have to learn while doing method of factorization. The middle coefficient should be taken as sum and the last constant should be taken as product. What I mean by saying is, we need to find out two numbers. Mind you children, we need to find out two numbers whose sum is minus 11, whose sum is minus 11, and the product is plus 24. Product is plus 24. So as we said that we need to split this one, whose sum is minus 11, product is plus 24. So children, can you give me two such numbers whereby which added will give me minus 11 as a sum, and product of those two numbers only, mind you, not the other one, should give us plus 24. Yes children, any guesses? Minus 8 minus 3. So I'll say m square minus 8m minus 3m plus 24 equals to 0. Let's check whether we have taken right numbers or not. Minus 8 minus 3, when we add it, we get minus 11. Minus 8 into minus 3, when we multiply it, what we get is plus 24. So we wanted two numbers such that whose sum is minus 11 and product turns out to be plus 24. Now, the first binomial taken into account, what is common? M common, m minus 8, minus 3 common, m minus 8 equals to 0. Now those who feel that how did the sign got changed? Whenever we have minus sign outside as common, the sign within the bracket gets changed. Second thing children, just keep this in mind. Whatever bracket we have, the first one, the same is what should be the second one. Always keep this much in mind. We take m minus 3 as one bracket, m minus 8 is 0. Now product rule says of two expression that either of the term can be 0. So it is m minus 3 is 0 or m minus 8 is 0. Minus 3 goes over there, m equals to 3 or m equals to 8. Minus 8 when goes over there becomes plus 8. So what are the two answers? The two answers what we got is the value of m is either 3 or m is equals to 8. Now children, there are various ways to write down the final answer of the quadratic equation. Many boards accept different ways of doing so. So we'll just write down in the very first sum. Henceforth, it is your call that what you want exactly, you can take it. So some of them say, therefore m is equals to 3 or m equals to 8 is the solution of above quadratic equation. I'll just write down short form. Or at times it is given by solution set equals to, within curly brackets we write down both the answers 3, 8. Whatever method you want, you can take it. Either you write down the first one or you write down the solution set method. But I hope at least in the first sum is what you got to know how we solve quadratic equation via method of factorization. We'll take many more to understand what could be the numbers and what could be the various permutation combinations, probabilities. Sum could be plus, product could be minus, sum is minus, product is plus. Let's take the next one. The next one says n square plus n minus 20 equals to 0. Now children, I want your help. Now if you have understood the first sum, come on, let's start. What should be the sum? Anybody? Now those who say that they are not seeing any number over here for sum, so let me tell you, if nothing being mentioned, we always take it as 1. We always take it as 1. So your sum, since nothing mentioned, we'll always take it as 1. So my sum is plus 1. And what is my product? My product turns out to be minus 20. Minus 20. So product is minus 20. Now children, let me tell you one more thing. Actually, the product is calculated in this way. So keep this in mind. Here also I'll tell you that it was plus 24 into the coefficient of m square. And the coefficient of m square was 1. So plus 24 into 1 is plus 24. Likewise, minus 20 into the coefficient of n square. Again, the coefficient of n square happens to be 1. So the product is minus 20. Now, we need to think two numbers, as we now know that this is splitting the middle term. The first term will be the same. We are looking for two numbers whose sum turns out to be plus 1 and whose product turns out to be minus 20. Any guesses from your end? Anybody? Yes. Answer is plus 5 minus 4. Plus 5n minus 4n minus 20 equals to 0. Plus 5n minus 4n minus 20 equals to 0. Let's check whether we have taken the right numbers or not. Plus 5 minus 4 is plus 1 and plus 5 into minus 4 is minus 20. Now children, over here I would like to give you one simple technique, a simple tip you can say so. Whenever, mind you, whenever we have sum as plus 1 minus 1, irrespective the sign we have over here, either plus 1 or minus 1, I'll tell you the numbers always has to be two consecutive numbers. Mind you children, just keep this much in mind. Whenever we have sum as plus 1 or minus 1, whatever numbers we are searching for always will be two consecutive numbers. If you happen to say in the previous one it wasn't consecutive, though it wasn't plus 1 or minus 1 as a sum. But here when it is plus 1 or minus 1, the numbers has to be consecutive. Children, can you see 4 and 5 are consecutive? I don't want you to pay attention to the sign. I just want you to look at the number 4, 5. Okay, let's proceed further. Now I need to take something common. Will I take n common? N into n plus 5 minus 4 into minus 4 outside. So inside bracket sign changes. So what happens is that n plus 5 equals to 0. Now n minus 4 into n plus 5 equals to 0. N minus 4 is 0 or n plus 5 equals to 0. Minus 4 goes there, n equals to 4 or n equals to plus 5 and goes over there, becomes minus 5. And we discussed in the previous sum also. Take your call how you want to write down your final answer. So I'll just write down, therefore n equals to 4 or n equals to minus 5 is the solution set, is the solution of above quadratic equation. Let me just write down quadratic equation as QE. Let me just write down n is equal to 4 or n equals to minus 5. N equals to minus 5 is the solution of above quadratic equation. Now, children, let's take one more example which is slightly different than the two we have solved. Now, if you look at the third question, children, now you'll realize that earlier to example we never had any coefficient. But here we have a coefficient. It says 2p square plus 27p plus 13 equals to 0. As I just made you understand in the previous sum, what will be the sum, children, if you can tell me? My sum should be the middle coefficient along with the sign. So my sum should be plus 27. And what should be my product? As I stated earlier, product is constant into the coefficient of x square, y square, p square, z square. So here it is 13 into 2 plus 13 into 2 is plus 26. So it's not 13 as a product, unlike we did in the previous two. In the previous two, the coefficient was 1. So that's the reason constant into 1 was giving you constant. But over here, plus 13, which is constant, into 2 shall give us plus 26. Methodology thereafter remains the same. We need to split this. Now children, now if you can tell me what could be the two numbers where our sum is plus 27, product is plus 26. Any idea children? Very simple. It is 2p square plus 26p plus 1p plus 13 equals to 0. Let's check whether we are right or wrong. Plus 26 plus 1. Is it plus 27 as a sum? Indeed. And plus 26 into plus 1. Is it plus 26 as a product? Yes. Now, what shall be taken as common from the first one? Can we take 2p common? Indeed. What is left? P plus 26. Now, those who are thinking, I'm so sorry, p plus 13, since it is 2 common, so it is not p plus 26, it's p plus 13. I'm sorry. Now, those who are thinking that there is nothing common out here, we shall always take 1. Whenever we have nothing in common, we shall always take 1 as common. When I take 1 as common, what shall be left? We are left with p plus 13. As I said in the first sum itself, both the brackets should be the same. This is also p plus 13, this is also p plus 13. So 2p plus 1, p plus 13 equals to 0. 2p plus 1 equals to 0, or p plus 13 equals to 0. 2p plus 1 when goes over there becomes minus 1, or p equals to plus 13 goes over there becomes minus 13. 2p is minus 1, p turns out to be minus 1 by 2, or p turns out to be minus 13. P is minus 1 by 2, or p is minus 13. Again, final answer from your end, whatever you want, you can take it. Children, how about the fourth one? Don't you think so? It's slightly tagged different than first three sums what we have done. If anybody can gauge it, what is the difference between, by looking at the first three sums, or if you remember the first three sums what we have done, what lies the difference in the question part? If anybody, come on children. Yeah, exactly. What lies the difference is the framing of question. In the previous three questions, we were given exactly the quadratic equation type. That means the standard form. If you remember, the first lectures is what we started off with. Ax square plus bx plus c equals to 0. So all the three sums, even if for that matter, even you can say here also, it was in the standard form ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0 format. What I'm talking is equal to 0 format. Here we have to bring into the standard form. It isn't in the standard form. So if I bring this in the standard form, what shall be the standard form thereafter? If you can tell me. 5r square plus 22r when goes this side becomes minus 22r, plus 15 when goes over there becomes minus 15. Now everything went that side, so nothing is remaining over here. We shall say equal to 0. Now did you get me, bachas? What I said, it is ax square plus bx plus c equals to 0. Thereafter the sum follows the same suit as we did the previous three. What? We need to split the middle term. But here what shall be our sum? Our sum will be minus 22. Our sum will be minus 22. And what shall be our product? Minus 15 into plus 5. Constant into the coefficient of x term, that is x square, or over here it's r square. Minus 15 into 5, minus 75. So my product is minus 75. Come on children, try it from your end. Come on, I'll give you a couple of seconds. Try from your end. What could be the two numbers? Any guesses? Any guesses? Minus 25 plus 3. Minus 25 plus 3. So 5r square minus 25r plus 3r minus 15 equals to 0. What shall be taken common, children? If you can tell me. 5r. 5r common. r minus 5. What can we take common in the second term? That is the second binomial. Plus 3. Again, r minus 5 equals to 0. Now, 5r plus 3 r minus 5 equals to 0. 5r plus 3 is 0, or r minus 5 equals to 0. 5r is minus 3, or r is equals to 5. R equals to minus 3 by 5, or r equals to 5. So these are the two answers, 3 by 5 and r is equals to 5. So we have seen 4 sums right now. Now in those 4 sums, the first two were standard quadratic equation. Even the third one was also standard quadratic equation, but the third one had the coefficient in the degree 2 variable. The last one didn't had a standard form. We converted it, but solving all the quadratic equation by method of factorization, the steps are the same. I know that there are many students who are finding a bit difficult, and where their difficult level is, I can tell you here also that where you are finding a bit difficult, if at all you are finding it a bit difficult. Sir, we understood the methodology, how we need to go for solving quadratic equation via method of factorization. But maybe, not all, mind you, very few are right now facing problem that we are unable to gauge very quickly the two factors. As we did in all the 4 sums, we split the middle term. We went for splitting the middle term. And we said we are searching for 2 numbers whose sum is so and so, whose product is so and so. And very quickly is what we got the answer also. Maybe some of you might say, sir, we are finding that bit difficult. If you are finding it that difficult, there are 2 answers to this. A child who knows tables, mind you, a child who is very much alert with the tables up to 20, who knows tables up to 20 very well, can find quadratic equation very, very easy. Sir, if I don't know, then I would suggest please by heart tables up to 20. If you can, then up to 30 also, but 20 is must. What could be the other proposition, sir, from your end? You said there are, say, 2 ways to do so. Then I'll give you one simple table. Now those who feel that in spite of by hearting table, you are not able to get it the factors very easily, then I'll give you one simple table. If possible, try to understand this. Maybe you will understand, and this might help you out find factors very easily. Sum, product and numbers. Sum, product and numbers. Now children, I'll say all the permutation combination which are going to exist in all the type of quadratic equation. Mind you, I'll be covering all the type of quadratic equation. Let's start. If the sum is plus, product is also plus. If the sum is plus, product is also plus, then both the numbers are plus. Sum is plus, product is plus, both the numbers has to be plus. If the sum is plus, but product is minus. If the sum is plus, but product is minus, then again we will have 2 numbers, but the bigger number will be plus and the smaller number will be minus. The bigger number, mind you, will be plus, so I'll always say the bigger number with the first number. The bigger number is going to be plus and the smaller number will be minus. When this case will happen? When you have sum as plus and product as minus. If the sum is minus and the product is plus, if the sum is minus, the product is plus, then both the numbers are going to be minus, mind you. Both the numbers will be minus. And lastly, if the sum is minus, product is also minus, sum is minus, product is also minus, then the bigger number will be minus and the smaller number will be plus. If the sum is minus, product is also minus, bigger number shall be minus and the smaller number will be plus. Let's check, sir, whether your table really works out or not. Children, I will prove this particular table within my 4 given sums. So if I take the first one, children, what was sum? Sum was minus, product is plus. When sum was minus, product is plus, we are into this particular one. Sum is minus, product is plus. Both the numbers has to be minus, minus. Did you see? Minus 8, minus 3. Now children, here I would like to give you one more tip. In this kind of sum, one more tip. Both the numbers, whatever numbers you get it, has to be less than the sum which is being given, means minus 1. What I'm trying to say is, can you see this 8 and 3? Are these two numbers lesser than 11? Every time, mind you, when you have sum as minus but product is plus, both the numbers will minus. Not only both the numbers will be minus, but both the numbers will be lesser than this one, always. Let's check what was the second question. The second question we had sum as plus, product as minus. We had sum plus, product as minus. So where, in which particular category we fall into? Sum plus product minus, sum plus product minus. So what did I said earlier, just couple of minutes back? Bigger number will be plus, smaller number will be minus. Let's check. Is bigger number is plus, smaller number is minus? And over here also I give you one more technique, that if your sum happens to be plus 1, minus 1, the two numbers has to be consecutive 1, irrespective what sign they have, right? So is this table helping you out now? I'll tell you now the third one. Let's see what was the third question. If the sum is plus, the product is plus, sum is plus, product is plus. Let's see. Sum is plus, product is plus. Both the numbers are going to be plus, plus. Did we get plus, plus? Both the numbers? Again, I shall tell you how we had taken the first sum, that both the numbers will be, both the numbers in the first sum, both the numbers were lesser, smaller than minus 11. Here also both the numbers will always be less than the sum, which is plus 27. Did you see 26 and 1? Every time you will have numbers below that. Last one. What was, now if you can gauge it, what is this now? We have sum as minus 22, product as minus 75. That means sum is minus, product is also minus. Are we into the last category? Sum is minus, product is also minus. And what did we say? Your bigger number will be minus and your smaller number will be plus. Can you see? The bigger number is minus, smaller number is plus. Bigger number is minus, smaller number is plus. Children, one more technique and tip over here you can say. In such cases where your sum is minus, product is also minus, the bigger number will always be bigger than what are, think below 22. You should always go beyond, that is above 22. Here is the answer. The bigger number will be minus, smaller number will be plus. I hope these 4 sums is what have made you understand the complete factorization or how to solve quadratic equation via method of factorization. Maybe at times, initial stage, you might find a bit difficult, and I told you where the difficult level exists. It's only in finding the factors. Children, if you know the tables very well, secondly, if you are a bit dicey in your tables, you can take help of this tabular column which I said, where I give you everything, what could be the permutation combination if sum is plus, product is plus, sum is plus, product is minus, sum is minus, product is plus, and sum is minus, product is minus. I hope, bachas, that now you are aware about how to solve it. We shall take more complex sums. It's not complex sums, but we'll inch one more step further and try to solve sums which are slightly one step ahead of these. Let's see those sums in the next slide.